Radical.
I just reported on Westbrook being traded from the Lakers. And you know what? I thought the rest of this deadline would be kind of boring. Except for Kyrie moving to the Mavericks, I thought, okay, that's the big trade. That's the big move, all right? Deadline's almost over, but I'm wrong. No, Kevin fucking Durant has been traded from the Nets. Days after the other guy that he teamed up with to go there to hopefully win a chip in Brooklyn, Kyrie Irving, and then they made a big three of Harden, but the big three barely played together. Kevin Durant's going to the Phoenix Suns. It's insane. It's crazy. Now the Suns haven't been that great of a team here lately, but last year they were in the mix, and the year before that they were in the mix. They've been in the mix since they got Chris Paul, Booker, DeAndre Ayton. Now they have Kevin Durant. Here's the details of this trade. The Suns are getting Kevin Durant in exchange for Mikal Bridges, Cameron Johnson, 4 first-round picks, and more draft consideration. Jay Crowder will also go to Brooklyn in the deal. Okay, so they also get Jay Crowder. TJ Warren will be going back to them from the Nets. To be honest, I don't know a lot of details about some of these other players. I know Mikal Bridges is a very good player. Cameron Johnson, no slouch. So some people are saying that this is a full rebuild. I don't know if it's a full rebuild from the Nets. I mean, they can still make some moves. They could switch some of these players out. I don't think it's a full rebuild, but maybe like a half rebuild, because it's not like they're trading the whole team away. They're just trading away 2 very dramatic players in Kyrie and Durant. Durant being less dramatic, but still, I think they just kind of want to get rid of the headaches. I think they just want to restart. So I wouldn't say it's much a rebuild, but like a restarting, I guess. Now they just got to find a way to dump fucking Ben Simmons. I don't know, would you keep Ben Simmons or try to dump him? What could you even get for Ben Simmons? I don't know. His trade value is almost non-existent at this point. So Durant going to the Suns, some people are equating it, I'm reading here in a lot of the comments here, some people are equating it to when Durant went from Oklahoma to Golden State. I don't think it's exactly the same, because the Suns, they're not exactly a 73-win, incredibly loaded team at the moment. Now, I think they had the most wins a couple years ago in the league, but they're not that same exact team right now. But, it's still this snaky snake slithering away from a team to try to get himself another ring. He went to Golden State, got himself 2 rings and 2 Finals MVPs. So I'm wondering now that he's on the Suns, is it Durant's team? Is it Booker's team? I mean, Chris Paul, he's more of like a, he's a wily veteran and everything. But no one would say it's Chris Paul's team. It's interesting. I don't know about maybe losing some of their depth. They got TJ Warren back, but when it comes to some of their depth, they won't have a lot of depth. But I don't think really that'll matter, because the offensive firepower between Kevin Durant and Booker, that's gonna be something. Then you got DeAndre Ayton, on defense. I mean, do you think that's a championship team? I think whenever you acquire an MVP, former MVP like Kevin Durant, and then you have an amazing scorer like Booker, and then you have the wily veteran, the general, like, I don't know what his nicknames is. I don't know if Chris Paul has any nicknames. But when you have Chris Paul there too, and they have a good coach, this is a team ready to go, deep into the playoffs. And probably, I mean, I'm not going to predict it right now, because you got the Denver Nuggets looking just great. You got the Warriors, are always a threat. Wouldn't it be wild to see the Warriors, Steph, versus Durant, both in the Western Conference Finals? Wouldn't that be wild? Now, one final thing here. Durant had 3 more years left on his contract for the Nets. And he requested a trade, and he got it. So this makes contracts look very, very easy to get out of in the NBA. Even if you're a superstar player. Durant is a top 5 player. In his prime, maybe like a little bit past his prime, I would say. It's arguable. But he's been playing great. And the Nets, even losing Kyrie, probably still contenders in the East. So the Nets didn't really have to do this. Maybe their calculation was, you know what, Durant doesn't want to be here. He doesn't want to be here. We just traded one of his best friends away. He doesn't want to be here. And it might be harder in a couple years to trade him because, father time. And who knows with his injury history if he's going to have like another serious injury. So they might have thought, you know what? We're going to get out of this deal while the getting's good, and we're going to get us a massive haul. And I would say that's about the best haul you can get for one player, even a top 5 player, because they got the picks, they got, and I'm not sure what year some of those picks are exactly. I don't know the details, but there's a way of looking at this like the Nets are not stupid for doing this, but there's a way to look at it like they are. You might say having Durant on your team makes you a contender, but I don't see that team as constructed getting past the Celtics. I don't. So maybe it's the best thing for both teams. Maybe it's the best thing for the Nets to do. And when it comes to the Suns, they seem to be in full desperation mode to get themselves a title. And they got Chris Paul there, so they would get Chris Paul a ring. He would get his first ring by Durant going there. So for both teams, it mostly makes sense, I would say. It just, this is wild. This is wild. I mean, what other trades are coming down? This is probably going to be the biggest trade, one of the biggest trades at the trade deadline, I would say, in several years. So what do you think about the Phoenix Suns? Are they true contenders now that they have Durant?